Hi, guys. Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E.
I'm D.
And today we're going to cover episode 6, season 5 of The Kardashians. The episode. The episode is called Stick Up Your Hoo Hoo, but it really wasn't all that. The episode was crap. We'll talk about it later. Those are the preliminary thoughts. But we're going to read an article and, of course, give you our opinions on it.
Okay, so this is an article from pinkvilla.com. It doesn't have an author, so don't come for me. It says, while the fifth episode was about Kourtney giving birth to her son, baby Rocky, the sixth episode, Stick Up Your ASS, revolved around Kourtney talking about having a certain body image after pregnancy and Kim advising Khloe to get rid of her lifestyle. Every new episode is drama or spilling some new beans, creating controversies. So, the episode begins with Khloe and Kim having a conversation with Kourtney, who happens to decide to stay at home for 40 days after giving birth to her son. Their conversation also covered the Christmas Eve party, which Kim has been entrusted with to arrange. Later in that episode, Khloe can be seen sharing quality time with her kids and also declares that she is going on a trip with her family to Aspen, but this time without the kids. Kim puts official Kardashian Jenner party planner Mindy Weiss to work for the Christmas Eve party. They decided the theme to be Winter Wonderland, and thus Kim asked everyone to arrange a giant gingerbread house along with a sled slope. This party is very memorable to each member of the Kardashian family, Kris Jenner said. We all turn into 4-year-olds. We all believe in Santa. I love the memories that we make. We feel so special, so lucky, and we're all together. Doesn't get any better than that. And so it continues. Kendall and Kylie are very close to each other. In one of the segments of the episode, they can be seen debating over who makes the best bishi in the family while they were shooting for 818 Tequila's YouTube channel. Meanwhile, Kim and Khloe can be seen having a heated argument later on, while Kim confessed that Khloe's tone made her feel guilty for not being around her kids. On the other hand, she also commented on Khloe's rigid lifestyle, which further pushed her to reconsider whether she wants to go on the Aspen trip or not. So before we continue, because there's still more to cover, let's discuss this very, very early on portion, which is when we saw that both Kim and Khloe were FaceTiming Kourtney and all of that that they discussed at the time. What did you think about that beginning?
Well, Kourtney's not my favorite because she's the least interesting to look at. But I am going to leave her alone. She is in her baby bliss. She seems unbothered. Um, what did I think? I don't know. She seems happy.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about her.
Um, I thought it was interesting that she's chosen this time around to stay home for 40 days and 40 nights. They did mention that that is something that women in other cultures do. Um, but I guess something that kind of I don't want to say it rubbed me the wrong way, but I just kind of like felt a little weird about was kind of the vibe of her, making it seem like this, like if she's a first time mom.
Hmm.
I'm a new mom, and it's just kind of like you've been a mom. This is just a new baby. So I don't know, it kind of felt a little bit weird.
Yep.
And then I kind of like felt bad for her other kids because it's like, thankfully for her, this time around, she had a partner that was different and a pregnancy that was different compared to other times. But it just kind of feels like, these her other kids are getting older, and like I don't know, like I would think that they'd feel a kind of way about the past episodes that they can see, right, of her and her pregnancy with them and the births and all that as compared to this. And I don't know, maybe it's just me reaching, but it just kind of made me feel a little bit strange because it's like I just thought about the other kids. And even with Travis, something that I forgot from the last episode when they were shooting the scene of or the scenes of the baby being born, Travis also kind of seemed during that episode like if this was like his first child, or if this was like, I know he mentioned that this would be like the first, I guess, birth that wouldn't be a C-section, so it would be a little bit different. But I don't know, there like something just felt off about their ways because they have, they each have a group of kids separately. So I don't know, it made me feel a little bit weird. Anyway,
But they are an odd couple to begin with. They're
this
like so into each other, so into their bubble. You
mhm,
know, with Kourtney, I just took it as, I don't know, something like Hispanic parents do. I'm going to say Hispanic or Latino parents do, where we're the oldest and we're supposed to, like, do everything. And then comes, like, the baby. And then it's all about the baby. And we're kind of forgotten. We're not bitter here at all. But, I think I'm kind of used to, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. You used to the treat, like a better treatment of the last one, because like, it's my baby, it was the last one. So I can see her, loving this baby more, because it's just a whole different experience with a husband, and maybe, being having that surgery, that fetal surgery, it's like
oh,
put into perspective, and it's kind of like a
oh,
miracle baby, and the struggles that they've had.
yeah,
So yeah, they are odd with their wording, but meh.
yeah. Okay, that I can give you that. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And so then the fact that now Kourtney, because she is basically on maternity leave, um, Kim is taking over the Christmas Eve celebrations. I really don't have much to say on that. I mean, I thought it was pretty when we saw it on Instagram. That's about it. What did you think?
I actually really, really like the behind the scenes. I would like to see more behind the scenes events that they throw.
Hmm.
But it's basically Kim kind of freaking out. We always see this in an episode. They're freaking out because something bad happens. Everything turns out okay. We saw with the baby shower, Kourtney had COVID, and then she had a special place where she could sit, and the party was a success. So it's typical Kardashian for them to like flip out, and then they have the most amazing parties with photographers and sleds and fake snow. Typical Kardashian.
This is true. This is true. Okay, so before we move further into the recap, one of the things that this recap touched on is the conversation that Kim had with Khloe, where Kim voiced her frustrations over Khloe's tone. What did you think about that scene?
Well, first of all, they've been hyping this whole scene up. We saw it on the trailers, we saw it on Instagram. It was a fake fight. Like, you could tell Kim was acting because she's in her acting era. But the fight is dumb.
Mhm.
This is about what? Shy's hair? Kim is just upset because she can't be like Khloe. Who would have thought I would say something like that? So first she's mad that Khloe is kind of like a helicopter mom or all about her kids.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, she's criticizing her because she's that way. I think she just can't have it both ways. She's like, if I were to do it all over again, I would be a strict parent just like Khloe. But yet you're here criticizing your sister
Mhm.
for something you admire about her or want to do yourself. So I think she's just a little jealous. What do you think?
I think it's probably a I think it is jealousy, but I think it's jealousy in two different ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you said, for sure, I agree. Um, but I also think that there's a jealousy that could be just like her projecting onto, Khloe, and even back in the day onto Kourtney. Um, because you remember the whole Christmas, the reason we have, I think, the least interesting to look at situation, that
The
that whole
Christmas.
scene, right? It was the Christmas cards, and they were like dogging Kourtney, both Khloe and Kim, because Kourtney wanted to spend time with her family versus being doing glam or whatever. And so now here we are where Khloe is devoting her time to her kids, rightfully so. And Kim is now coming after her because Kim wants her sisters to all have that same work ethic that she's bragged about forever. In I want to say it was in the last episode, she talked about how, in a confessional, how like her happy place is working. She loves working. She loves doing a whole bunch of things and having so much going on. Why can't people just like leave her alone, or why can't people just understand that? But then she's doing the complete opposite to Khloe. Khloe has repeatedly told everybody, this is my happy place, being at home with my kids, being a mom, just here. This is what I like. Why can't I just be left alone? So Kim is doing that to her. But I think it's also that, and so the internet, the internet always has their thoughts. There's a theory that I've kind of come across a couple times where people think that Kim didn't really want to be a mom, and that maybe she's just jealous that it's worked out for her sisters and it really didn't for her. And that really what she wants to do is just to be working, continue with being relevant versus actually, being there with the kids, and that her being so yes mom, as far as with the kids, is not necessarily because she like feels guilty that she's not more strict, but it's just a way to kind of just be like, okay, here, get out of my way, kind of thing. Now this is all just internet theories. This is, not anything obviously proven or fact, but if she's putting on an act, she's got to be a great actress then, because it's really easy to believe that this isn't what she would have wanted for herself. I don't know, it just doesn't, I don't get that feeling from her. And I think that there is a level of jealousy when it comes to her sisters, because they seem to excel at being moms, and that's just not something that, I don't know, she seems to really care to do so much.
Well, it's all about priorities. So Kourtney, I don't know what she's into Travis and her new baby.
Yeah.
Chloe, understandably so, she has gone through X, Y, and Z with Trish Trash.
Mhm.
So she just doesn't feel like being outside. Like she said, she wants to be with her kids. Kim, she just chooses to want to work. She can choose to not work and spend all the time with her kids, but she doesn't want to do that. She wants to stay relevant, like J Lo. So it's a matter of choices. She can make the choice. She's already a billionaire. She doesn't need to work.
Mhm.
But, I don't think that she can come to terms with that she's aging, which is not bad, but she wants to stay relevant. She doesn't want to pass on the torch.
No. And it's just like, it just feels like a very fake sort of fight, right?
Mhm.
Like what are we really doing here? You're
Yeah.
mad. You're mad because your sister did your job for you and isn't asking anything in return for it.
Mhm.
Like, and then I have like a thing too where it's like, oh, it's your tone, whatever. That's a matter of perception. That's a you problem, not a her problem. Like, you're perceiving that she's telling you something in some way, and that's just you and your insecurities about how you feel that are coming out. Like, I can believe that Khloe can have a tone, yeah, because the girl can have an attitude sometimes. But I think ultimately we've seen throughout all of this stuff that Khloe likes being a mom. She loves being a mom. She loves being an auntie. Like, she's good with all of that, and I don't feel like she would be the type to like say, oh, you're a bad mom, or give any kind of a tone of like you're being a bad mom or anything like that. So that's why I kind of felt like that whole scene, I was like, this is dumb. Like, what are you really arguing about here? And like the whole time I was honestly getting distracted because Saint was in the background. And I was just like, oh, hey, there he is. Like, that's what I was really looking at, because otherwise it just felt silly. But
But Chloe did take shots at Kim in the confessional, saying, well, subliminally. She was
yeah.
like, well, my kids, they're not going to remember if mom was at work. They're basically going to remember that mom is here all the time and we're sharing these experiences. Basically, everything Kourtney has said in the past, Chloe is not saying, but she's kind of taking shots at her sister.
But is she lying though?
I don't think she's lying. Kim is always working. I don't see her with her kids, but then again, I'm not her next door neighbor.
One of the things in that same confessional that you're talking about that I think hit really hard, even though I'm not a parent, like what she said about her kids will one day choose their friends over her. They'll choose spending time with their friends over her, and so she wants to cherish this time. Like, I felt that, and it's like, because I have nephews and I can see, like, from the age, they're like age range of like 6 to 15, I think. And the little ones are perfectly fine hanging out with me and doing stuff with me. The two oldest ones are just like silent. Like, they'd rather be doing everything else in the world versus being with grown-ups. And so it's like I can only imagine how a parent must feel when things get to that point. So I can see how Khloe would definitely understand that it's better to go ahead and enjoy this time because she has the privilege to be able to do that, which a lot of parents don't.
Mhm.
And, versus like Kim doing these like random, oh, I'm gonna take North on a trip, or I'm gonna take Saint on a soccer trip. Like, okay, I'm dedicating this time to you, and like that should suffice, kind of thing. Um, I don't know. It just kind of seems like to me most of it is just it's such a silly like thing to really like beef about, you know. Um, but anyway, it was definitely I think a weird scene.
But when we do see Kim do these activities, I don't know if that was the last season of the Kardashians where she was taking North somewhere and Saint somewhere. So specifically talking, let's say like the football games or the
Hmm.
soccer games. And then they would travel to, I don't know, tell me a team right now, Barcelona or something.
Paris. Oh yeah.
Oh, Paris Saint Germain. So they
Hmm.
were over there at PSG. It's a whole production. It's
Hmm.
not really about the kids. It's her still staying relevant and be like Kim Kardashian, footballer, like football mom.
Yeah.
So and then meeting who did they meet? Did they
They
meet Ronaldo?
No, they met Neymar via like FaceTime, I think it was, and then a couple other players.
Who's the one that just got to the other team to Real Madrid? Was it? I'm drawing a blank.
Right, recently?
One of the I'll think of
Oh,
the
you mean
name.
Mbappe?
Mbappe, there you go.
Kylian.
Whatever team he went to.
He was
So
was when yeah, he's going to Real Madrid.
so it's always about the production of it all. And Kourtney even said, you don't have to do all these crazy things. Like you could just go to dinner, have a tea, drink some tea, a tea party or whatever. But
Yeah.
Kim, she has to do things big. She has to do things bigger than her sisters. She has to do things that are still in the spotlight. It's like, hey, I'm a mom, but I'm a cool mom. But you still look at me.
No,
Meanwhile, her kids are like flicking off the the paparazzi and
yeah.
giving side eyes like North did to Malika. So
Yep.
there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like it's such a contradictory thing because you see Chloe post her nightly routine with the kids is just them having dance parties in the kitchen and they have the time of their lives. Like it's just very small, simple things, and I think that Kim like doesn't seem to know how to do that, or at least this is her way of trying to do these things. And it's sad because you look at Kanye, the other parent, and how he doesn't seem to be as present either, and his way of also showing love and affection is also keeping himself relevant by bringing North onto his album and then on stage. And it's just kind of like, how about just taking your kids to the park? Like, what happened to a album? What? I'm confused. So that's kind of like, I feel bad for those kids, not really thinking about it, because man,
I
those
just
parents.
love the way Chloe like dresses True. You
Yeah,
know, y'all parents can dress y'all kids how y'all want, but True dresses her age. Like if
yeah.
we look at kid, and I don't mean to criticize kids, guys, but I feel like just Kim's kids are growing up so fast. Like if we take North for example, she's already acting, and we could say the same thing about Blue Ivy, but that's another story. But she's acting, she's in these grown-up scenarios with her dad and people are cursing. It's just even like her clothing, her demeanor, it's just so grown up. So I don't know, it's just weird. But to each their own.
I think you should just let kids be kids at the end of the day. Like,
There's a
and they have,
time and a place.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like they have such a large family. Like they have built-in friends, right? With their little cousins. They all live close to each other. Like, just let them, like,
Mhm.
be kids running around doing silly stuff. I think that's what they enjoy. And those are the kind of like memories that kind of help you as you get older, right? Because you need to have certain social skills. You learn those playing in the playground, you learn those at recess, doing these kind of things, not going to meet, soccer superstars. Anyway, let's move on. In another part of the episode, Kris Jenner visits Kourtney. She is still deciding to make a public appearance after spending so many days at home. She even talks about her body image post pregnancy. She further declared that she would skip the Aspen trip as she wanted to strengthen her body and nourish her mind. Despite Kim's harsh words, Khloe finally puts her foot in for the trip. The Kardashians prepared to take off when the pilot declared some technical fault. He further suggested landing at Grand Junction, from where Aspen is a 3-hour long drive. Kylie Jenner suddenly felt uncomfortable driving through the snow. As anxiety kicks in, she backs off from the trip. Kris lets her go. However, the sisters feel a bit offended. The sisters complain to Kris for giving Kylie all the freedom, while Kendall confesses she will miss her snowboarding buddy. The rest of the Kardashians reach Aspen, but it seems Kim and Khloe have not buried their past argument. They again get into another fight, and Kim scrutinizes Khloe for having strict discipline. Khloe regrets her decision to come to Aspen. So,
It's
okay,
not a fight. It was a discussion at
right,
best.
right, yeah. What did you think?
Well, I think that the sisters need to put their foot down with Kylie, because if Kylie is getting a cut from the Kardashians, the least she could do is travel private to Grand Junction and take this 3 hour ride to Aspen. Why is she tripping? And it's true that what they said is like, oh, she felt uncomfortable. She needed to get out. She didn't care if her mom and her sisters died or something. Like she didn't say all of us stay. Like let's travel another day or let's travel in a couple of hours. So Kylie's all about herself, which is evident, and everybody knows it. I don't know why everybody tries to hide it.
The only one that tries to hide it is Kris Jenner because we know Kylie's a favorite now. So everybody is highly aware of this. We've talked multiple times. We've had plenty of recap videos where we've discussed the Jenner sisters' lack of work in this whole Kardashian
They
new
have to work
situation.
more.
We've seen Kendall. We've definitely seen more of Kendall in the recent seasons and in this one in particular. Kylie, oh, she showed up late to Kim's birthday. Wonderful. We had one scene, what was it, last week's episode, the one scene where she was crying, and
Mhm.
that was all very, very, very staged. So here we are where she's like, yeah, I'm so excited about this trip. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to it, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden it's, I can't do this. I think about my kids. I can't do this. And mind you, I thought it was rich that Kendall, of all people, was minimizing Kylie's anxiety, considering what we know about Kendall. Um, but I do agree that the sisters do need to put their foot down the same way that Kim and Khloe did that to Kourtney many moons ago. They need to do the same thing to Kylie because Kylie is benefiting and getting the same amount of money, I think, as the rest of the sisters, and she's not putting in any kind of effort. She
Yeah.
also does not really show her kids anymore. We do know that even on Instagram or social media or whatnot, she's asked the sisters to not show Stormi's face. So where you see Khloe having Dream, True, and Tatum in pretty much almost every scene she's in, and then Saint is in the background of scenes. Kourtney's got her other bigger kids that, do appear. I saw an image of Rain. We don't see any of Kylie's children. And obviously, I can understand a parent wanting not to have their kids on camera, all that, but she's already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's choosing not to do it. Okay, that's fine, but you need to do more work
Yeah.
because you need to be the face at this point, representing your little family, um, the same way everybody else is doing, but she's not. And if she felt that way, like she was so stressed out and everything, why not just show up the next day, or why not show up a few hours later on her own? It
Mhm.
was a selfish, I think, thing for her to kind of do, to just essentially like walk away from everything and everyone and just be like, okay, I'm good. What would have happened if there hadn't been any technical issues? If they had taken off when they were supposed to? Would she have gotten to Aspen and been like, oh my God, I need to come back? Like, what would she have done? So
Yeah.
anyway, I think it's really unfair, because it goes to the same thing that we've been complaining about for years now. The Jenner sisters, in particular Kylie, they don't really produce much. And I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing these fake ass fights between Kim and Khloe. Like,
Mhm.
what other content is there? It just was weird.
Well, Chris's health woes, and I'm not making fun of it, guys. I saw an article, and if you saw our last episode, that said that Chris is basically coming up with all these health woes, health issues, just to keep this show afloat.
Hmm.
Because even Chris has been putting in work. We've
Yeah.
seen her so much this season,
Yeah.
so everybody's kind of trying to pull their weight except Kylie. I don't know. That's the info I want to know. What happened with Trav? Are you still dating Timothée? Like, let's see you. You love animals. Let's see you go adopt a dog. I don't know. Something. Give me something. But she doesn't do anything, which is infuriating, I guess, for me.
Yeah, and I think like just as fans of the show, right? People in general. I don't know that I would call myself a fan anymore at this point, because
Yeah.
I feel a lot of it, like Ian and I obviously have discussions outside of our recordings here. And I think we both kind of feel like we've fallen off the show. And we're doing this because we were committed. But
Yeah.
we were fans of the show, and we wanted to continue to be fans of the show. And I just think that they have continuously done things
Mhm.
to make the show feel like it's so scripted, it's so fake, and there's no real like moments in it anymore. Um like I mean, I would probably say during that entire episode, the one thing that felt real was just seeing the party planners, like you said, the behind the scenes. That felt real. Everything
Yeah.
else just kind of felt like more and more of the same, just more and more scripted stuff, just more of like putting on a show for the cameras. Um Kourtney like talking about body image while she has on, shapewear, and it would look like a corset was, I don't know, it almost felt like a slap in the face. Like, ma'am, what are you talking about here? Like, your waist is looking snatched. What are you talking about here?
And then then her mom's is like, "Ooh, that body." And I'm like, "That's not helping with the message you just said 2 minutes ago.
Oh.
I'm trying to do this slow. I'm trying to let my body heal." Next scene. Corset. You got that body already. You looking good. I only have 10 pounds to lose. Girl.
And do you see why I was so irate last episode? Because we have Kylie crying about people making fun of her looks, and she talks about how, well, Kendall said that they're dehumanized and blah 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 blah. And then the following scene is super filtered and photoshopped and made to look like as if these people are, I don't know, not human, with
Mhm.
zero wrinkles and no kind of any real skin. Like, it just all looks so fake. So this is exactly the same thing, just in a different format. Kourtney talking about how she felt right after she had Mason, and she did that photo shooter or the magazine cover where she like snapped back, and how she doesn't feel that pressure anymore, but then she's putting on a corset and shapewear and all this stuff to get into an outfit for,
Mhm.
some kind of a show or whatever it is that she was going to do with Travis. And it's just like, I mean, come on. It all feels very, very fake, and it all just feels very much like the same thing. They keep wanting to have these conversations, and they can never get to the point. Maybe because they just don't know the point, honestly.
Well, that, and they have to admit their faults, which will hurt their brand. So
Right.
why would I want to hurt my pockets? I'll be like, oh yeah, it exists. Yeah, body image, body standards. Something happened and then forget about it. It's like their attempt to, yeah, we know it's there, but we're not going to say it's our fault. All the things that are happening and all the trends that people are following. Like, it's not good for business.
It's just annoying, honestly, because it's like we're going in circles. It's the same thing every season, every couple episodes, we keep going back to the same thing. So anyway, I really don't care too much for the next episode. I saw the clips and where it's another Kris Jenner health crisis. Again, don't mean to minimize, but we know she's fine. Like,
Yeah, for sure. So, what would make the Kardashians a good show again?
okay. I think, like I mentioned, maybe our last recap, I enjoyed seeing like Khloe and Malika hanging out and their little antics and stuff like that because their relationship is more real. I feel like sometimes when the sisters get together, it's like they have their brand in mind. Like they have like certain images in mind that they have to like keep up. Versus when I see Khloe with Malika and she just seems more like herself and just more real in general. Um, Seeing more of like Kendall and Kylie's lives in general, like them actually opening up about their lives, like for real, would I think help the show. Um, Kim being like an actual present mother might help.
Ooh.
I'm not I know how that comes out, but we don't see that on the show.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely made comments about how she does this, she does that, and we do see like off the show, we see her at like Saints basketball games, we see her doing certain things with the children, like, but they don't show that on the show. So then, it feels like that. I think that's why it feels like there's such a disconnect between Kim as a mother and Kim as Kim Kardashian, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because we don't really see that on the show. So maybe that would also help. I don't really care to see much of Kris. I don't, especially her and Corey. I don't. Um, and I would like to see Kourtney's new life because it is different from everything she went through. And we saw what it was like for her all those years going and raising Mason and then Penelope and then Rain. So I think that could be a little bit interesting, but who knows? They might be saving that for their spin-off show. What do you think?
Man, those are really some good points. I want to see a couple more pranks. Remember that Tom Crane, was it? Or something Crane?
Yeah. Was it Tom Crane? Yeah, something like that.
That was funny because it just kept going.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, and the art one. Remember that one when Khloe was like a painter and Chris was like wanting to buy these pieces because she thought they were pro.
worth money. Yeah, those pranks, they were good pranks, not this Kendall and Kylie attempt. I don't even know if it was an attempt. It was just an idea of pranking their mom. They didn't even try, which was
No.
such a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have loved to see Chris flip out.
Yes, something real. And they even said it. Oh, she won't flip out if the cameras are there.
Hmm.
So we know she's not real.
I don't know. I would like to see some features. Can we see Caitlyn Jenner come through, spend the holiday?
Oh boy, you want
Can we
drama.
see Kendall and Kylie visit their dad? Can we, I don't know, let's take an Armenia trip again. Let's learn
Oh,
about, their family background. I really enjoyed that CC episode,
yeah,
remember? We
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about the history and stuff. Let's hear the backstory of the Kardashians, like these little stories. I
Yeah.
think that would make it a lot more personable. We're humanizing them again. So
Right.
that would be nice. But this
Or even
stage, very business like, I mean, I like it, but I'm into like business and like looking at things like that. But other people don't. And I mean, and myself included, sometimes I just want to see something dumb. I know. Sounds
like
I just
Yeah.
want to see something mindless, something dumb, and just like laugh and enjoy it. And then this is just so staged that it's like, ugh. It takes me like 3 hours to watch a 40-minute
Yeah.
show. Like I pause it so many times because it's become so intolerable.
Yeah. It's true. I think I definitely like feel the same way. But
Mhm.
and then also them just showing more of the kids, like not necessarily like, oh, the cameras need to be all up in their face, nothing like that, but just like the kids doing activities when they do like those big parties, or like the kids get invited to like these, well, technically the moms do, to these like kid movie premieres. Like I just saw on Chloe's stories earlier that they were doing something for the Minions, and I believe it was just Khloe taking all the kids again. Because I'm pretty sure I saw Kim's kids, I saw Kylie's kids, I saw I don't know if Dream was there, but anyway, and I
Mhm.
only saw Chloe. I didn't see any of the other moms. So, so yeah, that was something where I was like, oh, and then like a few days ago, the girls had a dance recital. You saw, like Kim, I think Kim was there, Chloe was there, but Kylie wasn't, and she was in Paris. But still, like those things that we're seeing like on their Instagram stories, they should probably also show on the show,
Yeah.
because it helps you to like connect with them on a different level, like getting your kids ready for their dance recitals, like different things like that that can humanize them, if we really want to go with that term. But yeah, I think that would help.
And with Scott, let's see him, find get go on a date or find love. Let's prank somebody with Chloe. I think they are always funny together.
Yeah,
Um, let's bring back Rob Kardashian. Is he getting a cut at all? Like, I'm sure he's get no.
I don't think so.
Let's bring him back. Like, what happened to him? Why did he leave the spotlight? If
Mhm.
if they want to reinvigorate the show and keep us watching, they need to bring like new content. We need Rob in there. What happened with Angela White, aka Black China? Like, tell us these things. Is he dating? Is he trying to lose weight? Like, is he gaining weight? Like, does he have a job? I know he has Arthur George. Scott
Right.
has that clothing
Talentless.
brand.
Talentless.
Eso. But I think there's another one too.
No, he just has
No?
talentless. Yeah.
Well, they have all that. So wasn't
Yeah.
he also flipping houses?
Yeah, he was, I think.
So bring us to see that. So I
Yeah.
think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. That would probably be helpful to add back some of the people that helped to make the show what it was,
Yeah.
because the women being the only ones on the show is not as appealing anymore, because they're just so like, it's funny that they're trying to make fun of Chloe for being so rigid, but they all seem so rigid. They're
Mhm.
all like kind of stuck in, this is the part that they need to play, and that's that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think, ruining the show.
Yeah, ditto. But guys, that concludes today's episode. Please let us know in the comments what you think. Well, does Kylie need to be accountable? And she needs to pull her weight because her sisters are doing all the work. What would you like to see on your version of the Kardashians to be a devout fan again? What do we think about this fake fight between him and Chloe? Are we buying it? Are we over it? Are we over them? I don't know. But like I said, that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share a video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our friends, so we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We're on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. You can also listen to the videos in podcast format via Spotify and YouTube Music.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.